Yeah. Black neon. Out the mud. Before I get it out the mud, I stay on top of my fitness and hit the shower, clean it up, and then get back to the business. I don't care about who did it, I ain't worried who didn't. I head directly to the back, so I'll be there in a minute. I got expensive taste, the rollie got a different face. For surely I be in them places, they won't let you pass the gate. Post it up, sipping $1,000 scotches with the rock in it. Look.
Episode 9, how you doing show? I'm here with Rob, Ricky.
How you doing?
The guys from Firebrand Cannabis.
Hey, what's
Albie
up?
and Blake Mensing. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
All right.
You got me pretty high, honestly.
How you doing?
Some South Station too. So people got to be crossing the street going there, getting some
That
shit.
is the whole plan. Yep, you hit the nail on the head.
And then you're right there in Chinatown. Get some good wonton soup over there too.
There's fantastic
Daily.
food.
Oh, they probably have those places do the facials over there too, and the nails and the, the haircuts and the washy.
But when we went there, what was it, 2 days ago for Firebrand? Was it yesterday? Oh, yeah, it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You lost
on
a
a-
day at the hospital.
Yeah, I
That
did.
kidney stone fucked you up.
But I never been on, like, that side of Chinatown. I just, like, drive by it and then bang the left when you come off the highway.
Nice over there.
There's, like, a serious amount of stores over there, like restaurants.
Definitely.
How do you figure out which one's a good one?
Trial and error. You just keep going.
Yeah, but
Well, when you walk in the store, you know which one not to go in.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Unless they're doing fingernails and barber cuts.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and they're hot.
Rob only goes in if they're wearing robes.
Yeah.
When did they start? I seen you across from South Station. When did they start putting that building up, that skyscraper? Is there like a ETA on when that project?
It's supposed to be finished in 2025.
Okay.
I think they started it probably around the time we started our whole path.
Okay.
So 2.5, 3 years ago almost.
Okay. Was like the inception?
So we did not know that development was happening. That was a happy accident.
Okay.
So yeah, they're adding 1.98 million square feet to South Station,
Damn.
including concourse expansions for the bus and the trains, like almost 200 luxury condos,
Yeah.
hotel, office space, retail space.
more
Exactly.
customers.
So it's the best timing because A, those people weren't there yet to complain about us, and B, by the time they are, we're already in the neighborhood.
Right.
So those I think are going to be people who roll over in their pajamas.
Oh, like the yuppies?
Exactly. Their tagline on the billboard is Boston's easiest commute. If you live right above South Station, that's
Well, look what
Yeah.
they've done down the street. That area that was worn down. It's unbelievable. It's all brand new.
all it takes is a shitload of money.
Billions over there.
Yep.
So the inception of Firebrand, that was 3 years ago when like you
Yeah,
first
October
started.
of 2021, we created the entity. We had our eyes on this particular property already. We were originally looking at a property sort of kitty corner, half a block away, sort of one half block off of Atlantic. So it was not quite as good of a location. But the main differentiator for that was it was so unfinished that there weren't even floors. So we would have put in a couple $100,000 just to get to the starting point. Of
Atlantic
putting-
near the subway there?
It was on South Street, so it was one half block
over.
out. Yeah, so Atlantic is the main
Yeah.
one way that goes right by the bus depot entrance and the South Station train.
Great location.
We think so.
Yeah, people walk right out and they can see. They're like looking directly at your store from.
I took the
terminal.
commuter rail the other day, and I was off the train and through the door of my store in 35 seconds.
35
So
seconds.
that was pretty good. It only works if you're on track 1 and you go out the bus depot and exit. But
South Station used to be really cool, man. They used to
Rob,
have like
that's about
8
4
bars.
minutes and about 38 seconds for you.
They used to have like 8 bars right there over in South Station. Now they only have 1.
do they? I don't know.
Oh well.
There's a bar there's a bar aptly named the Corner Pub on the corner near where we are.
There's one.
What I'm saying, once you walk in, there used to be like 8 or 9 bars in there. Now there's only 1. Because COVID
Inside
killed
the
them.
station?
Yeah, pretty much.
We heard a hearing where there was a liquor store being proposed for inside South Station, and the people were just pissed. They're like, they're going to sell nips. It's going to be even worse than it is, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that didn't go anywhere. But
Oh, luckily. But you can put a weed store right across the street.
That's
though.
right. Well, we had those same kind of opponents.
Are you guys gonna start selling? You sell. What do you sell right now over there? The store.
Little bit of everything.
So you sell flour and the rosin.
Flour, rosin, concentrates, vapes, edibles, beverages.
Wow, I gotta get it. You know what? I go to Boston almost every day. I have to check this place out.
Come check us out. Atlantic and Beach, right across the street.
Oh, I
from
got the
South
address.
Station. 727 Atlantic Ave.
Rob's a little slow on his notes.
But he has it.
Yeah, he's got it.
I got it right here.
Excellent. Yeah, come by.
Okay,
was-
so on this store, when did you guys open?
About a little over 3 weeks ago, May 20th.
How's business been good?
It's been great. Yep, we're using these first couple weeks as just an opportunity to train our staff up to the standards we expect. So when we do get a crazy rush of people, that we're making the right impression.
Soft opening.
Right. So we haven't advertised yet. We've been seeing an uptick in customers day over day without having advertised. So we take that as a good sign. We even have a few regulars already, which sort of blows my mind. We haven't been open
That's
that
cool.
long.
That's cool.
But yeah, Albie's in there day to day as a co-owner and as the general manager. And I'm doing my best to do my imitation of what a CEO does. So.
And there's
A lot of nothing.
No, my boys did a lot. You probably led the
this
legal
guy's
team,
got
right?
a lot of energy.
I did
the whole
all
licensing.
I did all the paperwork. Yep. Yeah. The funny thing is, you don't technically need to be a lawyer to work on applications. Just the fact that I was trained me in a particular way to navigate through that nonsense.
Yeah. So so looking at my notes here, okay.
It's gonna take him a minute to read.
So you used to have a practice called the Mensing Group,
That's right.
and you retired on October 13th of 2023
That's right.
to open up this licensing process for the marijuana in Massachusetts or any other states, or just Massachusetts?
So I mostly did Massachusetts. I had a couple of folks in the Midwest, and I did a New York application. But yeah, that was sort of by happenstance. I didn't advertise in any of those states. I honestly didn't really advertise much for the firm at all. My main sort of marketing tool was I like talking to people, so I just networked my face off, and been a lawyer for about 14 years, been a stoner for 27, so it was pretty easy to talk to stoners. And I'm like, I also happen to be a guy who knows how to do some shit that you don't want to learn how to do.
That's pretty good. So you enjoy this a lot more than the practice.
Yeah. My main objection to being a lawyer was talking to other lawyers on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Fighting over stuff that doesn't matter is not my idea of a good time, especially when being right isn't enough in the world we live in.
Right.
So I just was like, all right, well, I need to trade in 50 people's problems for just my own.
Right.
But it's definitely harder in a lot of different ways.
Well, I knew you were the guy to hire when I first met you. You had the pull in, and I see the license plate, Law 420.
I'm not a subtle fellow. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I actually got pulled over once, and the cop said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I said, "Yes, I do. I 100% just missed that stop sign. I saw it, and then his lights went on. I was like, oh, that was a stop sign." Boop. So he liked that explanation because I owned up to it right away. And then he said, "What's with the license plate?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a cannabis attorney." And all he said was, "That must be cool. No ticket, no warning." And the funny thing is,
Have a nice day.
I was on my way to a dispensary to just pick up for the weekend for myself. And I was like,
Yeah, I think law enforcement's had enough in Mass with the cannabis. Even a couple of departments in Mass. For the police officers, I think they took marijuana off the drug test. I think Brockton and did New Bedford do it too, Ricky?
Not that I'm a police officer, but I would assume so.
Yeah, I didn't know. I
I
thought
don't
New
want to
Bedford
assume
did.
that they do it on their off days, but
But I know Brockton did, and I think they're sick of arresting people for cannabis at this point.
what's the paperwork worth? I don't know.
Nobody's ever OD'd from cannabis like what the problem they have now with the fentanyl.
I think every job application is taking that off, right?
A lot of them?
Yeah, I mean,
So there are still certain jobs where it's legal to discriminate against cannabis use, and they call it a public safety position. So they really, for me, cast a pretty broad net. That could be a school teacher, a nurse, a doctor. And my opinion is, as long as you're not impaired, like when you're doing your profession, what
Right.
the hell difference? Whose business is it
Right.
if I smoke weed later?
and no offense, if I was a teacher nowadays, I'd have to be high to deal with all these little bastards that are out there right now. No offense, but I'm just saying.
You couldn't pay me to sit in that room.
Wait, God, they need their salaries tripled.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you started with this inception of Firebrand Cannabis, how many people started out with you guys? Have you accumulated more partners? Or?
So yeah, I and my co-founder David Rabinovitz sort of came up with the structure and the idea. I personally just got kind of tired of hearing the state pat itself on the back for all of its social equity policies. But then if you look at actual ownership representation numbers, it's nothing to brag about. So I'd also been in a bunch of sort of pitch situations where a social equity or economic empowerment client of mine would be trying to win investor dollars. And they're like, hey, can I just have you in the room? You know, you can answer any of the regulatory stuff. And I said, yeah, of course. So it always would break down when the person who was about to write a 6 or 7 figure check realized, oh, I have to, you know, basically trust the steering of the ship to someone I don't know. And they have to, by law, own 51%. So we just got a whole bunch of no's because of that. And I understand that. You know, I think regardless of your status as social equity or not, you know, finding investment is hard. So finding someone who trusts in your plan and your ability to execute it is hard no matter what. So yeah, we started with a pretty wide net. I think we invited something like 15 people, expecting not a super big response. And everyone was kind of like, yes, we would like to talk. Let's figure it out.
No way.
So yeah, we have 4 social equity owners who collectively own the majority of the company. They each have a board seat in a rotation, so everyone gets on the board.
Okay.
In the event of a tie, the side with more social equity people voting on it will win, so they have true power.
Okay.
It's not like the typical corporate thing where you say, yeah, we're a social equity company, but you sit in that corner and you keep your mouth shut and you don't touch a thing.
You're actually partnering with these guys instead of using them.
We're relying on their collective professional, you know, expertise they already held to learn on the fly like the rest of us and navigate the regulatory complexities of selling a plant to people who enjoy it.
Awesome. So Albie, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Roxbury.
Roxbury?
Yes.
Yeah, I do a lot. I work in town too. So how did you get into this? I knew this was going to be interesting.
Sounds like there's a good story coming. Hold on, let me get ready.
We'll just say this situation right
Well,
here.
I'm just saying you got into this, you know, this market that you're in now. What'd you do before this?
Oh, a whole lot. So by nature, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a BS in management, a minor in entrepreneurship. I have a film degree. At the age of 19, I had a food stand. By the time I graduated from college, I had a food truck. We're talking about the 90s. So
out there earning.
Yeah, so I understood business early. I understood how to manage people early. I understood the process of, like, you know, the do's and don'ts of just actually business at an early age.
Was it like Big Perm's food truck? Were you hustling out that thing too?
Nah. I had a killer iced tea, and I sold more beverage than actually food. When I did the numbers, I realized I actually sold 250,000 cups of iced tea.
What was the name of the truck?
It was called Albie's Joint.
Nice.
Albie's Joint.
Yes,
I like it.
Yes, I have the first $5 bill like in my studio. It's hanging
hell yeah.
the menu
That's awesome.
and things like that. So so that was like I had as a, like, I want to say in 6th grade, 7th grade, I learned how to, like, I didn't necessarily do business for the fact of money. I did business to get what I wanted.
Correct.
You know, so I would say my first true entrepreneurial experience was maybe like 7th grade, 8th grade. You know, I was like, man, I just want to go to New York, go shopping for school. So I was like, every year my grandmother would rent a bus on the day after Christmas and they would do this shopping tour. So I said, hey, Grandma, what's up with that number for the bus company? You know, I had a little VCR on it, you can get it. So I just sold tickets to all my friends at like $50 a pop. And I was able to go to New York, go shopping, and come home and everybody had a good time. So,
Damn.
So that was like junior high. So I was
Did you have any chicks?
I was a minor, but, you know, I had the back seat. So, you know, on the way home it was dark. You got the back
these brothers
seat.
are smooth.
All right,
you know?
so yeah, we'll leave it there. All right. So, you know, and that's how I kind of got started. You know, so several small businesses. To this day, I probably run like 3 small businesses right now. My main focus, though, on my day to day is Firebrand.
How do you like this business so far? Give me the ups.
I say, I'll start with this. What it takes to get to the start, because we're really at the starting point.
Right.
Is so much that
You're 3 weeks in, so you guys are really just started swimming.
We're just starting, but 3 years in, but we're really just at the starting point. But the 3 years can kind of take all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's so, you're dealing just with so many different
You kept climbing the mountain,
municipalities.
climbing. Finally, you're going down the other side, Now you just need all these motherfuckers to come in and buy the shit.
So the fun is gone, but I say the most interesting part has been Blake, David, because of the knowledge that I've learned. Like, you just heard this guy talk for like 2 minutes, and I know you taking notes. Like, oh, you can do this. This is what no firefighters, no.
I learned
doctors.
from the guests.
Exactly.
I don't know anything.
My compliance in cannabis is just as good as a lawyer at this point because I've been sitting with Blake for 3 years in meetings.
So you came in at like after that first meeting that
I came
they
in right
had
in the
when
beginning.
they
The first
How'd
Zoom
you guys
meeting, I was
hook
there.
up?
They called a Zoom meeting. I think it was almost like they did a draft or something, and David was like, "I got this guy." Blake was like, "I got this guy."
You know what I'm saying? How did you find this guy?
So
Through Dave, right?
David and I were both trainers for contractors for the social equity training program. So although honestly,
It's like a draft.
I invited one of our members, and I wasn't his instructor, so I just knew him from the industry. But yeah, the rest of the people invited were either people that I had met through the social equity program or just through my own networking.
Yep.
And yeah, like I said, the response was pretty overwhelming. It's been, swimming upstream for these 2.5 years, like Albie said. My war cry has always just been, let me follow your rules, right? If you put any set of rules in front of me, no matter how complex, I can follow them as long as you keep them in one place. But with municipalities, they like to hide the ball from you. And it's like,
Is it a power trip thing?
I think it is. I think it's about, I've got this tiny bit of power.
Okay.
I'm going to control this, and you're going to have to, jump when I say jump. And of course, I'm wired in such a way where I say, well, actually,
That
it
gets you
doesn't
going,
say I
doesn't
have
it?
to jump, so you can't tell me what to do. And they're like, well, I don't like your attitude. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but those are the rules.
Well, you're in Boston. They probably still got some of the good old boy network going on up there.
Oh yeah,
Where-
white
It's who you
envelopes.
know, not what you know, I would say, without a doubt.
You got the white
Stalin.
envelopes.
But I'll
A
tell
lot
you
of
what,
stagnation up there.
In the city, there's some.
So, but what he says though, if I didn't meet David in my social equity class, is who I knew. So
You met
by
him in
meeting
he was teaching
it
the
was-
class.
Yeah. So by meeting David, it gave me the opportunity. So who I knew was awesome for Firebrand because I wouldn't be here if I didn't take the social.
So this
equity
guy
class.
saw something and said, "This guy's going somewhere.
He's
He's
hustling.
got the drive.
We
he
would
got the
speak outside
motivation."
of class. I may call him, hey, David, I got an issue. How would you handle this one? And we would just kind of go back from time to time. And one thing about David, he's awesome at taking the time to really listen and give you feedback.
Is Dave a lawyer too, or
He
he's
is
just
not.
a
No,
entrepreneur
He's
himself?
got business experience. He's got an MBA. He's got 42 years of business experience.
Okay.
And I joke that he dreams in spreadsheets. So as good as I am with the written word and regulations, that's how bad I am with spreadsheets. Okay. So if we're up to me in an investor presentation, they're like, what are the projections? I'd be like, I have no idea. I don't know what that spreadsheet means at all.
Just trust
Hope
me.
for the best, plan for the worst.
I just
basically.
always own up to it. And I'm like, look, I'm not the guy who adds any value in the context of a discussion about spreadsheets. You don't need to hear my opinion on it. I don't have one.
Yeah.
So I just stay out of that lane entirely.
You guys been both learning from Dave on that.
Oh no, I have no intention of learning that.
Blake's like,
No, I'm just going to
I'm good
admit
with the
that it's
legal.
not for me. I have other skills.
Do you guys advertise like on a
Listen, he's the
billboard
CEO.
or on the internet?
yeah, but you can't sit near somebody throwing a gang of knowledge without absorbing some of it. You know.
I've done pretty good avoiding it. When I look at a spreadsheet, my eyes like it. I know there are lines and it's supposed to be like helpful, but no, I get spreadsheet dyslexia. I can't see a thing. It doesn't track for
So
me.
you're better with words. He's
Yeah.
better with the numbers.
That's right. And
Okay.
then
That
yeah,
sounds like a powerful team right
Yeah.
there.
we've got
So
a good
Blake,
team.
you had the first round draft pick, right?
No, I was
was
came
all-
on David's team.
It was all
I didn't
voluntary.
know Blake. I had no idea.
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
him to
Albie
the
too.
first
AFC,
Sold the first
NFC.
draft pick.
Yes. So I just, David just, he said, hey, you want to? I said, yeah, let's, we got on a Zoom call. We heard the pitch. And I was like, no brainer.
Yep.
All in.
Was it because of the location?
Of course.
They probably didn't have a location when they first started that.
As a serial entrepreneur, I hate
gotta
business
know.
to customer businesses. I would never want a dispensary, but the location, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer.
And
That's the honest truth.
So
when
when
you
we
talked about advertising, you really don't have to advertise in that spot.
So we
gotta let it
will
block
be
you.
advertising. So we just want to get people aware that we're so convenient. We're not looking to draw people in who aren't already in that vicinity. But the benefit of being across the street from South Station is, we have access and proximity to those 91,000 people who use that building every day. So those folks who smoke weed, swing on by. And especially if you're getting on the commuter rail to a town that has a ban on retail stores, swing on by.
Have somebody walking around with that sandwich board wearing that.
We're starting that soon. We're starting that soon. We literally picked up the arrow today. I shit you not. There will be a guy in an arrow next week.
Ricky's looking for some work. What is tough times at the car dealership, Ricky?
Car dealership's always tough. Always tough. Speaking of customer
you guys
service,
got one review on Yelp.
That's right. One review on Yelp. We've got 20-something on Google.
What do you got?
It is.
That's cool. That's like the inception of it all. At some point, you'll have like 10,000.
I just claimed our Yelp profile this week, so yeah.
That was the thing that most intrigued me when you highlighted that point where the T touches a bunch of towns that cannabis is banned in, and then I was talking to Talking Joints, Chris there, Ferrone, and he was thinking about putting some like baseball cards out and drop like a advertisement with like 10 brands of like different brands like cards and leaving them on the T, like putting like bundles of 1,000 or 2,000 of them.
Interesting.
That would be something cool to,
We don't want to tangle with the T, so we're not going to be dropping anything directly.
They would.
It's accidental.
So
Yeah, he said something around the T or at a shop, like, you know what I mean?
So the
Just
issue
like,
with the T and the commuter
pass 'em
rail
out.
is it's got federal subsidies. So they can't touch anything cannabis related because of that.
you can't even have like one of your
So
own
we
people
can't
passing out
advertise
cards?
in the T, in the
Not on their
MBTA.
property.
No.
And
Oh, so that's a little delicate, but once they walk outside off the steps,
Well, they
they're
can look
looking
at
right
it
at
in
Firebrand.
they can look at their own phone. So
Right.
we can advertise there. So we're
Okay.
working on that.
Oh, hell
that's
yeah.
coming soon.
No, that's a real good location. Never mind the foot traffic, the T traffic, the towns that don't allow marijuana, the people that work that are coming up to Boston.
And especially a lot of
Hotel.
the commuter rail lines are in like it's a corridor of towns that'll probably never allow it.
Oh, the hotel is like cha-ching.
Absolutely. I'd say from my casual observation, like 50% or so of the customers walk in with luggage. So we just want to be that quick errand.
Oh, yeah.
We're not one of those stores that's like, we will talk to you. If you have questions, we'll answer any questions. But it's not like, we're not advertising ourselves as come here and like deepen your journey with,
Right.
it's like, great. It's an errand. You know what you want. We'll help you find what you want. We'll get you in on your way. We got a monitor in the store with the train schedule. That was Albie's awesome idea. It just keeps people in the know so they're not stressing out. So yeah, get them in, get them out.
Listen,
go on with
one
their
night
lives.
stand business, that's where it's at.
Do you sell any infused drinks too?
Absolutely.
Man, I'm definitely stopping by.
You like
Please
the
do.
infused
Problem is
drinks?
Oh,
getting them go.
What, he doesn't
You
go?
got any tables over there?
Yeah. Ron wants to set up shop. They do got some chairs for him.
There's a
Anybody doing
small
massages?
sitting area. No,
Maybe I didn't have Keno there too. That'd be great.
So,
Jesus.
when you guys started 3.5 years ago, as the market's been kind of like the average retail price of the gram, have any of you guys been worried about that, or are you guys not really concerned with that because you're in a higher, cost area that people, will pay the higher end for the good product?
I think in Massachusetts we have the benefit of being able to look west. So the price compression that's happening now is something that happened in Colorado, California, Oregon, Washington before. So we're not surprised. And
Right.
as a retailer, which is obviously the last mile,
Yep.
we're okay where we are in the supply chain.
Yep.
If the price goes down, it just may mean we have to sell more units.
Okay.
But I think there's some cool numbers. Massachusetts is the number 6th ranked state in the country in terms of per capita consumption of cannabis
6.
at about 27% of our population admit to consuming cannabis at least once every 30 days. So 27% of almost 7 million people is a pretty big number.
That's
And, again, we're looking to meet people where they already are. So if you work in the financial district, you're visiting Chinatown, you live in the seaport, like we just are a place that's convenient. So we think our play will be volume and efficiency. So the price going down obviously is less good than if it were staying sky high.
Right.
But the modeling that David did accounted for all of this. So we
Percentage-wise.
knew that, the prices that were 5 years ago would never last.
Right.
So no, everything's modeled based on it being a commodified, price. So we're confident.
Yeah, because you're just making it off a percentage because you just have you guys, Firebrand Cannabis is just a dispensary
Standalone retail. Yep.
Yeah, so it's all by percentage anyway. It's actually might be better for you now because you can get the product at wholesale a little bit cheaper. And if you're in a higher price demographic area, because a lot of these states, when they tell people about that the price has declined and the market's like failing, they never highlight the brands that are still there,
right,
that are like doing it right and still getting that top dollar for the quality cannabis, right?
Absolutely.
So I think of anything with the decline of price, what you saw was a correction in tiers of cannabis because everything was the same price. But now when everything kind of changed, it self-corrected the market. So no, that's not worth this. This is worth this. So you knew what an A was, you knew what a B was, you knew what a C was, you know. And so so now it makes sense when you go to actually purchase because you kind of know what you're buying now.
Are you finding out that consumers are kind of getting a better understand for the product? Like they know what the A, B, the C is, like from over time from purchasing?
I think at this point in cannabis in the Massachusetts market, customers already know what they want somewhat. You know, I like this particular brand, or I like this particular strain, or I just need some gummies, or I just want a pre-roll. They know what they want really. You just got to kind of point them in the right way, right direction. I'm sorry, point them in the right direction, and you're fine. But yeah, they pretty much know what they want right now.
And when I was talking to you earlier, you traveled around a lot, right? Like was the food truck in Roxbury when you had the?
Oh, that was in Roxbury. So I would say I started a DVD company. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like 04.
What you smoking on, right?
It was actually called Cheddar DVD.
Oh,
What You Smoking On was one of the series I did under the Cheddar DVD title. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So entrepreneur, and then you travel around for that show.
So yeah, for that
chasing quality cannabis, right?
With that, and for some reason, this 250,000 just always happened. With that, it was 20 titles, probably 250,000 DVDs. It started with just like, it was called Cheddar, and it was like money in hip hop, and it was basically talking to artists of what are you doing with your money, how do you reinvest it, and that was
educational.
So yeah, it was basically it was supposed to be a magazine originally. So if you took the Source magazine, you took Black Enterprise, and you took King magazine, and you put them together, you had Cheddar.
Okay.
When I went to go do the magazine, what I was gonna spend on writers and editors, and the price of a magazine was retailing at $5.99. I'm like, man, I gotta sell a lot of advertisements, not a large markup. When I did the price of a DVD, was retailing at $20. So I said, man, I only just need a cameraman and an editor. But we were really early in this. This is pre-YouTube. There was no YouTube yet. So really, it was really, really kind of early. But I just seen that there was a higher markup on the actual physical product.
Right.
So I just took the actual DVD route, which was probably a great way to give me, like a life into what media is today.
And then now look, they did the DVDs.
Oh
the
yeah.
DVDs are gone.
I had a collection.
They're gone.
If you had YouTube, you'd be hitting the million mark.
Yes.
But you traveled around chasing quality product, right?
Yeah. So it was, what you smoking on there? So what happened is I would go to a city, 3 cities a week. That's what I was doing, 3 cities a week. And I would get to a town, and of course, okay, what you guys smoking on? And I was like just asking these guys, I'll be in Ohio, what are you smoking on? Then later in the week, I may be in Miami. What are you smoking on? Then, one day I might be in Vegas. So I'm asking everyone. So and I said, man, I would do little snippets, but I got to a point when I said, wow, California just went legalized. Let's just do a whole topic on what you're smoking on. And that's where the What You Smoking On DVD came about.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so you learned a lot dealing with customers. Where were you finding the consumers? Was it like friends that you like met in these different states? Like people put you on to these people, so they were like,
no, I was asking.
Oh, were you just grabbing people random?
Smoking, I'm asking Jeezy, what you smoking on, Jeezy? 2 Chainz, what are you smoking on, 2 Chainz?
Okay.
Snoop, what are you smoking on, Snoop?
Oh, you were talking with them guys.
It's local, it's everything. Yeah,
but those guys are seasoned smokers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But it's like, what's Atlanta smoking on? We smoking on that loud right now. This pack is busting. That's what I'm getting from Atlanta. I go to New York, they're like, oh, this diesel looks crazy, so.
I didn't know if you were talking to randoms, you know what I mean? Like, to get a better understanding of what the consumer actually knows is good product.
It may be someone you don't necessarily know, but in their part of town, they were somebody.
They were in the top
tier. They were in the
So they've seen good weed.
Yes.
See, I don't think a lot of people seen good weed growing up. Like, the percentage of good bud compared to, like, the mid-grade commercial that was coming around.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's, like, probably, like, 10%, 90%. So like maybe 90% of the people smoking never really seen good weed, and then you come out in the marketplace and you got a lot of people just saying craft, and we're high end, and there's no distinction.
There's no regulation on using
some
those
people
words.
just smoke just to get high.
Like how are you guys vetting your brands? to
So
find what the people want.
one of our partners comes from the legacy market. He was in cannabis for 30 years, right?
Okay.
So he likes to call himself the outlaw of the group, and I think that's pretty cool because it's literally true. So yeah, he's been around cannabis a long time. So basically, he'll work with the vendors, make sure it's worth a damn. That's not to say we don't have value brands. We do. Okay. But it's still good weed, right?
Okay.
So yeah, it has
the
to
best
pass.
bang for your buck.
Has to pass his
Exactly.
test. Yeah, it's got to be something that we would smoke, and our whole team is actually cannabis consumers. So we're professional stoners and stoner professionals, right? We just happen to like weed, and it's I think something that a lot of people like, and we just like to help get you high. That's it. That's my goal.
Do you guys have a grand opening date coming out soon?
We're working on that now. We're aiming for mid-July. So we're just coordinating some event type stuff. So we'll stay tuned. Visit firebrandcannabis.com and sign up for our newsletter. We'll keep you informed on when that'll be. We're going to do it over a couple days. We're going to have some fun stuff. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Cool. You guys got a bunch of brands coming down that you work with, and
yep, we'll have some brands. We're working on a deal.
free swag giveaways here.
Well, Massachusetts prohibits you from advertising discounts, giveaways, loyalty programs. So we'll be painting within the lines.
There's no more happy hour. I missed that.
So that's true. That's
Remember happy hour, Rick?
Oh, I love happy hour. I miss happy hour.
They should have that at the dispensary.
They still
happy
do that
hour.
though, like in Florida, right?
They just reversed the law in Massachusetts. Happy hours are allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're back.
Damn.
I read that
research
recently. There's no secret lawyer signal that goes
Notice how
out.
he only takes notes on the things he
Happy
likes.
hour?
Yeah. I knew that's
Happy
why.
Hour coming back.
I already knew he was writing that. That's
Yeah,
why I
right.
was like,
He's going to ask you which place is next.
yeah. Do you
I don't know that.
got
I don't have
word
a-
on who's
I don't have a
doing the
follow-up
first
to
half? Yeah. Booze.
No, I just remember when
Hey,
they
just walk down the
Massachusetts they had
Plymouth Strip. You'll see it.
when they had happy hour, just like when happy hour, they give you a picture for like $1.50. Everybody's smashing all over the streets. I think it was actually a good idea to get rid of it, but it is back.
Well, we'll see how we handle it this go round.
All right. Well, we've learned some things. Happy hour is back in Massachusetts. How about that?
Nice podcast.
So, as how many different rosins do you have? A lot of rosins at the store.
So I honestly don't know our menu as well as I should, just because again I'm not the guy picking.
You sell the
products.
paraphernalia too to
We'll
use
have
this?
that available. We'll have accessories of all types, sizes, shapes really soon. So yeah, we right now basically have sort of the bare minimum, just because we're just getting our legs under us. We've got rolling papers, that kind of thing. We're going to have a whole wide selection of pipes, bongs. And I do love the fact that you can say bong now. You remember you go to a head shop growing
Yeah.
up and they'd be like, don't say bong.
What was the
It's a
word
water
for
pipe.
it?
Yeah, water pipe.
pipe.
Oh,
That was the
Water
word.
pipe.
Water-
No one in their life has ever smoked tobacco out of a 6-foot bong. I'm just telling you that right now.
I don't think anybody would want to.
Well, I think that
people
area
even
there's
know what
definitely a
water
lot of
pipe
foot
is?
traffic, and with the people, that building they're doing, there's going to be even more.
Absolutely, yeah. Those people will be able to pop over in their pajamas, and they couldn't be closer.
Are you guys going to do any delivery at all?
So we looked into that. Basically, right now the regulations kind of make it an unprofitable business.
Well, I do know a couple of guys that started this business called Gas Bus, and they deliver and they work with a few different dispensaries. You might
Cool.
want to, because they're right in that area too.
We'll
No,
de-
they're in Middleborough, but they're seeking a location.
That's where they're
in
going.
Roxbury,
Yes,
I think.
exactly.
Check your notes.
A couple of cool guys too.
Yeah, Rob got his notes all fucked
yeah,
up.
Yeah, you're all banged up.
I don't even know what he's writing down over there.
You need
Hold
to shave your cube.
happy hour is back.
Yeah, happy hours like in a shoppy.
Right, yeah, right. Happy
Happy
hours
hour.
on like 4 pages.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right, they're across from
Yeah.
State Gas Bus Success. Let me see.
They're
Yeah.
across from the state police barracks in Middleborough.
Pick up milk. Oh,
Yeah.
wrong note.
Ezra lives in Rosendale.
They got
They
great
got two
security.
vehicles, a Honda Accord and a Ford Fusion.
Don't forget to pick up the laundry.
Rich is from Brockton.
And that's kind of ironic because before you used to hide from the police, now they set up their delivery service right across from the state police barracks. So like
Great idea.
they got security.
State legal.
They got security right across. Now they work for them.
And imagine if they get a call, they can get right through traffic. Just follow the cop that's leaving.
Oh, that's great. So do you guys plan on opening another location after this?
We're not thinking that far ahead, to be honest. We want to get this rocking and rolling the way we think we can. And yeah, it's too early to even think about it. Like we talked about, it's 2.5, almost 3 years to get to where we are today, and we're just at the start.
Is it easier on the second one though?
Not in my experience, no.
No?
No, because it's usually a different flavor of municipal, treatment. So you got to figure out different personalities, and
Each license.
it
each
shouldn't be about who you know, but it absolutely is more about who you know than what you know.
And at the CCC, when you've been practicing getting cannabis, how many cannabis licenses did you help?
In
here in Mass?
5.5 years, I got over 100 licenses for my clients in the state of Massachusetts.
You're probably the number one guy in the state. He's the hero of the weed community.
I just like getting people high, and now I'm just going to do it more directly than getting people their ticket to play the game.
Did you ever think in your life that you would have a dispensary, Albie?
I don't think.
Did you ever think? Did you ever think in your wildest dreams?
So that's why I did what you're smoking on. So I told you I do what I do because I want what I want.
Right.
So I didn't know if it was gonna be. By the time I got my, I had a social equity license, but I had an economic empowerment license prior, which was only very few of us. But I knew I wanted in. So, but I didn't necessarily want a dispensary. I wanted a brand. So I want cultivation, and I was going that route.
Is that the next step?
We'll see. We'll see. Like now, once you get in, now you understand more about the industry. So understanding more about the industry, I can make a way better educated decision.
Exactly.
As to my next step.
Education is key.
Exactly. So
to anything.
And that's 100%. What this is. This is a great opportunity to learn. Not only are you a partner and you have ownership, but like I said from the very beginning,
you got the guy that does the licenses. I mean,
priceless. What do you say, 100 and how many licenses?
I don't know the exact number. Over 100. Over 100.
Yo, so to listen to this for 3 years, man, priceless.
How many of those hundreds? How many of those 100 licenses are people going?
I have no idea. A good number. I'm not. So as I confessed earlier, I think in words. So I'm not like I don't have lists of these numbers that I've written down.
Approximately.
I have no idea.
Because people call up, like when people helped me in the past, I call them up like a year later, things going good. Hey, man, thanks for your help. You probably got those calls.
So the vast majority of my clients are in business as far as I know.
Good.
And those who, reach out to me, I'll always talk to, but I'm not like calling to check on them.
I'm the monitor.
Was it a lot of like legacy guys or a lot of MSOs licenses?
Mostly regular people. There were a couple bigger companies that hired me. I got rid of a client that was like, they couldn't get me an answer without it taking a week because I had to run it through 6 departments. And I'm like, I can't work like this. You just answer the question. And if you don't have that at your fingertips, this is going to take 3 times longer than it already has to.
They got the letter, cease and desist.
It's just, when you do it one way in a certain state, that has no bearing on how it works in Massachusetts. So,
well, you know what it is? A lot of these corporate guys, in that business, and you do what you do, these guys think they know, but they really don't. Even though they have millions of dollars behind them, it doesn't mean you know.
There were a lot of people in the early going that I would describe as accidentally successful. They didn't have a great plan. They didn't have a great team.
But
because they were open when they were smart enough to at least be one of the early ones.
And they were in the ball game early.
You didn't have to be good in the early days because the supply was so limited. Exactly. So they were getting crazy high prices for weed that's not great because it was for sale and you couldn't buy from California legally and then sell in your store.
Right.
So those people, I think, either have already fizzled out or will.
Or sold out.
They planned for pricing that isn't realistic. And as I said earlier, we can look to the West and see that prices don't stay at their peak. They come down to earth.
Well, everything gets to a top.
Essentially, all the markets that open up, right?
If you don't plan for when the price is down here and you have pie in the sky projections that are in the, out of left field, you've sold, investors a bill of goods. You got to be realistic.
Realistic expectations.
Right.
Jerry Maguire.
Under promise and over deliver, right?
Well, you got to plan for the worst and hope for the best. You know what I mean? In any business.
But you said you were in business helping with licenses 5.5 years. So, like, some of the towns you obviously went to, again, like 1 or 2 licenses in each town. But since it was over that period, were there new people that you had to deal with every time? So it was like
there were a few towns that had enough crossover or saw me enough that, people always ask me, oh, do you have any pull in this town? And my answer was always, I don't have pull anywhere. No.
Knowledge.
I don't speak, any differently to a politician than I would to a regular person. Right. And they don't like that. So we just don't, I don't have any political favors to pull at all, ever, and never will.
Yeah.
You just had a legitimate application process.
Yeah. I mean, I had a background in municipal law. So I've written zoning bylaws before. I've helped the decision makers write rules and enforce the rules that were already written before.
You know
they
how
got
to
there.
distinguish the wording.
So did you work? You worked for towns before?
I did.
Yeah.
I was associate town council for 7 towns throughout Massachusetts for 3 years.
So you were the
handled all-
guy that you were going up against.
That's
essentially.
right. That's right. So what I learned is that municipal officials likely don't know anything about the subject matter they're dealing with, and that's not a criticism. It's just a reality.
Right.
There's so many things going on in a municipality, they can't know it all. So of course they're not up
Right.
to speed on cannabis when it's new. Although I kept hearing that in year 5. This is a new industry. I'm like, it's not that new.
Right. Right.
You've had time to think about this. It's happened.
Right.
You don't have to worry about what it might look like. It's here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still towns are like, well, I don't know.
So each time it was like starting fresh every.
Depended on the town. Yeah.
most of the
Uxbridge for
time.
me was my favorite town and is my favorite town to deal with because they had a set of rules and then they actually followed them. And that's the fair way to do it. Tell me what you want me to do. It's like a 12-item checklist. And it's
Okay.
not something you can do overnight. But great.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it.
Right. Right.
So I like them. Fall River was terrible, not surprising.
Yeah, they had an issue over there.
Yeah, they
running
were a
a skim.
disaster.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
No, but isn't Bodie in Uxbridge?
Need a thick white envelope to get things done over there.
And I got a question for Albie. When you were doing the what you smoking on, how did you? Because we're doing a podcast trying to get guests. How did you get to like these big name people? Was it? Did you just pound the door, or did you have like
That was
use
already
your
prior
network?
because I had built up so much, of a reputation just of what I was doing in the hip hop field that like there was no YouTube. So, like I would say I had an interview with Suge Knight. And once that interview was, if it was, it would have went viral if it was today. But once I had the interview backstage, Source of War with Suge Knight, it just changed everything. It just changed, like everything changed at that moment.
Death Row,
Like
that
I'm
was
known
the-
from Compton to Harlem at this moment. So
Right.
like it was just everything changed at that moment.
And that was just from meeting
So
somebody,
that-
somebody. The next got you
And so
to,
that,
got you
after
to
that,
Suge.
after that, I ended up moving to Atlanta. So it was just open. I was going back and forth between Houston and Atlanta. I didn't know what city I was going to move to next because there was so much happening in Houston right now with hip hop, and there was so much happening in Atlanta. So I would just go back and forth a lot, and then I just ended up settling upon Atlanta.
No shit.
Yes.
So that's cool. So
What do you think about the hip hop scene now?
I don't know it anymore, to be honest.
You've been out of it so long, huh?
Yeah, like what's going on in today's music, I have to refer to my kids. But like if we talk about, maybe pre Drake and we go back, yeah, we're good. But anything from Drake and on, it's kind of like, I was a grown up extremely by that time, and hip hop wasn't my source of revenue, so there was no reading to stay relevant with what was going on as
What
far
was
as
Houston
rap
like?
music.
My first hip hop was, I remember Grandmaster Flash,
Yes.
and the Fabulous, and then a few of the other guys.
Yeah.
It just came out. It was hot. You know what I mean? It was in. Now
South
it's
Bronx.
just, yeah.
Melly Mel, yep.
It's
Cool
funny.
Herc.
You talk about where did we get that haze from, Trevor, from New York? Maybe he might know about this.
The Marcy Project.
Oh, you went to Marcy? You went to Brooklyn, huh?
Yeah, there was some haze that came out of there. What year was that? That was just.
That was like 04, 05, 06.
Love to find that strain. It was just, you know what I mean? Strains you found years ago that we almost compare everything to it.
That's supposedly where it came from, was coming from.
And so you guys,
So I
the
would
other
say I
guy goes
started
out.
strain searching originally in New York, and that's that you say that, and I would say it started with a chocolate tie, and this place in Harlem you would go, and like I was always infatuated with hip hop, so you go get like a Ron G and a Kid Capri mixtape, and those are like $10 to $20 each, and then they sold nickels of chocolate tie, so I would get 20 nickel bags for $100, and the guy wouldn't give me one free. I would just be like, this is like '89.
No break.
So, but at that moment, I knew like every time I went to Harlem or every time I went close to New York, I had to go to Harlem and get this.
Just for
chocolate
that.
tie. What? It's the store stops right across from Polo Grounds in Harlem. You just go down a little 2 steps, and man, they had the best weed in '89. I swear.
Yeah.
Those guys now probably have a dispensary in New York. Who knows?
Yes.
How old were you in '89?
High school.
High school,
Yes.
going down there?
Yeah. High
See,
school.
'89, I was living in Vegas.
I was 6.
No numbers. No numbers.
Shit, young kid going down there.
Oh yeah. So I had so the reason why I went city to city, my mother has always been a flight attendant. From the moment I was born, I was in a flight. She was in the early 70s. I was in a, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was born on a flight. So by the time I had a cousin who went to Howard. So in like 6th grade, I was going to DC by myself. Jumping on a plane. Just
you still have privileges, huh?
Yeah. Oh, not I don't use. I remember when I lost him because she retired, and I just I went to go make it a flight one day. I had an event going on in Miami. And I said, "Oh, what?" I said, "Hey, Mom, what's going on?"
That'll be $600.
Like, I haven't been going. I was like, "Dang, they cut him." She's like, so I just went, and that was the first and last time I ever flew Spirit. I just tell you that much.
It was like
last minute flight. A Spirit flight was the only flight, and I never flew that Spirit again. So.
Yeah, it's like sitting on a bleacher seat from like old Fenway.
You'd be lucky if you just get there.
Right? Because your dad worked for the
United,
and you used to fly all over, right?
Oh, everywhere.
Like short money, right?
Nothing, almost nothing.
So I got to a point where I'd still not always use the passes because someone would say, "Hey, fly here, I'm gonna book you, just come out." So I would still do that, but nah, Spirit don't never stay away. It's like it's like bad weed.
Yeah, you gotta stay the fuck
Like nobody
away from
wants to
that.
get on a Boeing right now. You know what I mean? You're on
Especially
the plane, the door blows out.
I don't think we should talk about that. Too many people have been having bad things around this Bowen case.
I didn't even hear about it.
Oh yeah.
You know how these things happen. Corporate America. Corporate flu.
Yeah.
No, I missed that somehow.
We can edit that out also, by the way.
Yeah.
That'll be edited out. That will not be
Yeah, I
on
was
there.
just letting you guys know.
Guarantee you that won't be on there.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to disappear.
Fucking somebody in the woods.
Right.
That happy hour shit better make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what's on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy hour is pretty cool. I'm happy about happy hour.
Trevor, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What are you smoking on?
What am I smoking on?
Yes.
I'm smoking usually on all cranberry stuff that he grows in living soil, my
Oh,
buddy.
is that what I tasted?
Yeah, the
You want to
Tangy.
try some?
I already did. You can't tell.
Yeah,
Look at
it's
my eyes.
What'd you think?
Great.
Coming from smoking all around, all over.
See, this comes from like he grows with like just worms and nutrients. He doesn't use any of the chemicals. Yeah, give him that.
Yeah, just
I didn't
raw.
get to actually see it, but the taste.
Yeah.
It's got a good
thumbs
taste.
up.
1 to 5, I give it a 5.
2 thumbs up.
Effect, I didn't smoke a lot of it. I'm high as
So
you can
I've been
possibly probably be right now. So you know, not bad. Not
Sunday
bad.
Punch. It's got a good taste. to
Yeah,
it.
and that's got a low THCA number. It's only like 20, 22 when it always tests out.
Delicious.
But
A great terpene, cake taste. You know what I mean? Whatever I'm tasting.
so you must have smoked some good shit though, traveling all over the country. There's some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
Cali, Florida,
Yes.
New York. Like they've been having stores in New York that you can go and buy weed in for decades, right? Like where you used to go in Harlem, they're selling.
Well,
weed.
not legally.
not there,
No,
not there,
I know
no,
not
yeah.
legally, but and they're still doing it illegally, right? Isn't that
I
like
can't
a mess
believe
down
that
there?
they're trying that. Like, it's such an easy crime to solve, right? Where are you doing it? At that store I rented. Case closed. Like, what? But they just shut it down, start a new company, and open next door.
It's like Newports in Boston. You can go to almost any store and buy a pack of Newports. You know what I mean? They're not supposed to sell them.
really?
Yeah, almost any store you can get them.
Where do you see this going? Are you guys seeking a manufacturing license too for the Firebrand Cannabis store, or are you guys just sticking to straight retail? Or
So yeah, we're getting the retail off the ground, and we're open to exploring other things. We've got a second floor where we are. I think that would be pretty cool if we could someday turn it into a social consumption lounge potentially.
Oh, that'd be
It's
awesome.
just that, you know,
Like in Holland.
exactly, yeah, little casual cafe kind of thing. Make a nice event space. It would be about 3,250 square feet, so it's not huge but not tiny. We
espressos,
just have to
coffees.
wait and get the right implementation of the rules that have been on the books for years.
The
at commission.
champagne room over there.
Yeah, and you know what? You could probably shed a little bit of light onto this social consumption license
Sure.
stuff. What's going on?
That'd be
So
awesome.
the CCC has been studying it and its implementation for years. The social consumption rules were written when the rest of the rules were written. We just obviously haven't had that license type yet. So there have been a couple of changes. Originally, it was going to be a pilot program where municipalities had to opt in and say, yes, I'll try hosting a social equity venue and see what happens. And it's like, did you ever like get around stoned people. Like, it's not going to be some crazy thing. It's going to be a bunch of people like, giggling and eating snacks.
Yeah,
like,
chill.
Maybe doing some arts and crafts or some random shit. Like,
Right.
what are you worried about?
Yeah.
I got a whole different visual here.
Why? What's your visual,
Playing
Rob?
video games. Yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do.
Albie knows what I'm
Brought back
talking
happy
about.
hour. What else? Can
Social consumption.
Now, you combine that club with alcohol, food, and weed, you'll be a home run.
They can't. They,
No,
you,
no
they won't
alcohol.
let you mix alcohol.
No,
It'll
we don't
never
want
cross
alcohol.
the threshold. You can't have a tobacco product in a cannabis store.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't want alcohol. Like the movement as a whole. They're not big into drinking all the event. You know what I mean? No. It's two different things.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just, hoping for the best.
Yeah, Rob just loves his booze.
Just thinking out loud.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, listen, as an adult, that's your right.
No,
But
that's a
as
great-
as a
that-
compliant business, you can't do it.
That's a
there's
great
still
idea, having like you sell it. You sell like the space cake, the brownies, all the stuff. Like have a hostess, waitress come out, and just like Holland, be a great idea. If you get too high, they bring you out front and give you a sugar cube.
Are they? So they're still researching?
So there are rules about keeping a place like smoke free for your workers. So there's a big compliance cost, and they don't have the rules around that. Just they say it has to be kept sort of clean enough. So I mean, obviously, hookah lounges exist, cigar
Yes.
bars exist.
So that's
there
what I'm
are
talking about.
mechanisms in place to allow indoor cannabis combustion.
Well, nicotine's a drug too.
That's
Even
right.
if it's tobacco product. It's just...
That's right.
So there's still the stigma going on.
There's the stigma. There's the fear of drug driving, and then they make rules saying if you buy it, and bring it to the consumption lounge, you have to consume it all there. You can't take any to go. And it's like, so you're saying that out of one corner of your mouth, while you're also worried about people over consuming. Which is it?
You can get drinks to go at restaurants now.
That's right.
But you want them to finish their...
That's right. So there's also
Be like at the bar.
Get the guy,
Finish your
get the
drink.
guy wrapped
Exactly.
that
Finish your
shit
drink.
wheel.
Before you leave, you better slam those last 3 shots.
Yeah,
Right now.
bury it. Look at Ricky. He's all excited. He wants a bar like that.
Mandatory. No,
Which
you can
bars do
literally
you
go
to?
to. Yeah, you can literally go to a restaurant now and get drinks to go.
That's right.
So you think you go to a place like that, you buy a little bag, you're smoking on the bombs
Yeah, the
or whatever.
wine.
So what's
The
happened
wine.
in my view is that a lot of regulations are made to appease the fears of people who lost the question for vote, right? The people who didn't want weed to be legal are still being listened to when the rules are being written. I don't understand that.
The people that...
The majority of voters in Massachusetts said adults 21 and over should be able to get cannabis. And guess what? If you don't like it, don't buy it. It won't impact your life. So any rule that is, a nod to the people who lost just always gets under my skin. Like every package has to say not safe for kids on it. What does that mean, not safe? It can't kill a person. Like it's never botanically, or biologically killed anyone.
Just keep out of reach of children.
Exactly. But
all
it's
the
a
other
value
stuff.
judgment in the regulations, not safe for kids. And what does that say to like a pediatric cancer patient? My
Right.
medicine isn't safe. Well,
Right.
it's safer than opiates.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
in
way
any event.
safer.
There you go.
I don't know. I'm dealing with some pain right now. You got a kidney stone going on, and
Oh man, that thing's gonna come out like a.
I had two of the edibles.
Like a cannon going off.
I had 2 gummies, man, and it actually took the pain away. Like I'm on the show right now, feeling good.
Excellent.
That's another brand that you own.
So yeah, that was a Coyote Cannabis product.
Yeah.
We did a white label deal with Mass Alternative Care. It's an award-winning cultivator based out of Chicopee. So we thought their standards were up to the Coyote brand name. So
Okay.
you got the RSO gummies, which is a better, more complete cannabis experience than distillate injected.
They did
run-of-the-mill
have good
stuff.
flavor. That's what I noticed. I'm not a big edible guy, but I was like, it's RSO. Let me try this, and they were very good.
Excellent.
They
Well,
were.
We're
I liked them. They're working too. I
Seem
think
to
that's
be.
why I'm like my mouth's dry.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah. I think I'm a little banged up,
And a sugar cube.
but I'm rolling. I feel good. That Coyote brand, that's with a whole other group of
So
people.
that's another company I started with my brother, actually.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, we.
So you and bro are doing business?
We're trying to get that open right now. We have, like I said, some white labeled products.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
we started that company to produce bubble hash rosin. So we want a representation of people who care about the process. on the market.
Okay.
Not just rosin that's sort of made as an afterthought, like a lot of the bigger companies do.
Okay.
So yeah, we're really excited about that. Again, it'll have to pass our procurement managers, taste and quality standards testing before being sold. But I'm happy to say it has. So we sell some Coyote products at Firebrand.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Which is cool.
Albie, what about do you buy any of the brands that you like at the Firebrand that you smoke? What you smoking on?
So the brand I like most right now that we carry is the Cure brand.
The Cure?
Yeah, and that's actually a brand that Nipsey Hussle was a part of.
Okay.
Originally. So they had the OG in there. So I really kind of, once I tasted it, I wasn't sure if it's a marathon or not, but
I'm an OG guy myself, and Rob likes Kushes
too.
too.
It's sold out. So we're waiting to get some more back in stock right now.
So the Cure Company.
The Cure Company was something.
So that's what he's smoking on. So they got an OG at the Cure Company brand, which we've been smoking. He's been getting Harbor House. They got a kosher Kush because we're Kush heads. Like that was my era. Like when I was growing up, like my early 20s, late teens, like the OGs were like made its way out here and. That's one of the strains that stuck with me.
Weed has really changed over the years. I remember like in the 80s, you get brown with everything got seeds in it. And it's like your bones popping all over the place.
Yep.
And then like in the later 80s, that green stuff came in. And man, it's like you could stick to the window. And then it just kept, I think what happened was it just took so long for the weed to get from Mexico to here. That's why it was brown. You know what I mean? And they didn't care about, female plants and male plants. They just threw it all in a big field in Mexico and shipped it here.
Right.
But now it's like you got these guys, connoisseurs of weed about, taste. I mean, people are really into it.
Absolutely.
Because I think that the future in this business is like what these guys are trying to achieve is like a craft beer of weed. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because I like my favorite strain right now, you might try it, is the Khalifa Kush. Not the mint one. The other one. They have another one in California.
Khalifa Kush.
Yeah, they have another one in California.
Khalifa.
It's not out here yet, but I just like the taste of it. It's got a great, got a great taste to it.
I've known Rob, 25 years?
I guess. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. He's burnt. So, all right. So I got a question for both of you guys. So you guys are both consumers of cannabis. A lot of the customers are shopping by high THC for the cheapest buck. What do you guys as consumers look into the brands for? Like, do you guys look for how it's grown? Like, what's your idea of good quality product? Flower. I mean, we could just use flower for example.
It's two hats because as a general manager or owner, it's first negotiation. I could care less if I'm in business first and foremost. So it's all negotiation first.
No, I'm talking you personally.
I thought you said like with the brands. All right.
No, your personal approach.
So my personal approach with different brands.
Like, what are you looking for in a flower? Like, because
it's not about me. It's not about me. It's like I said. It's about the business.
No, I'm saying personally.
Nothing to do with Firebrand.
No, nothing. As a personal smoker, you guys are consumers. What do you look for in flower? Like, what are the things that you aligned with high quality cannabis?
I always just taste. I always look for something that makes me go. If I do that, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back.
So it's all
taste. You know what I mean? All taste.
Yeah.
No matter what brand or taste.
Cause like I could smoke weed all day if it tastes good. I don't care if it just tastes good. I'm gonna just keep smoking it. I'm gonna just, you know what I mean. Especially if I have nothing to do. Let me have a Sunday and it's just football game after football game. Kids are with their grandmother. I'll smoke the whole thing. I just smoke whatever is there. Oh man, I don't have to do anything for today. Got a day off. What?
So you like the taste and effect? You like
more taste and effect. I don't think I really want to be high. Like if I get to a point where I'm getting there, I would just stop. You know,
like you said, you like getting high, enjoy the game, chill,
more taste though, more taste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Alfie, what about you, Blake?
So I look for a company that does it for the right reasons.
Okay.
And that I think is basically people who care about the plant, right? And not just view it as, oh, I can make money on this. And it's cool to make money, and I'm not against making money, and I want to make money. But I want to also care about the process. I want to care about the people I'm working with. And, you can't learn every brand's story that way.
Right.
So, I think it's a function of a little bit of marketing, which honestly, of all people in the world, I shouldn't fall for marketing because my dad was in advertising and he wrote the ads, and my mom was in market research. So they all like talked about the tricks of the trade. And I'm like, every time it says new and 30% more, I'm like, oh, I got to have it. Even if I didn't have it previously, I'm like, you got me. There's more. That's a great marketing trick.
Yeah.
So I think brands, like good marketing will get you to try a product. Taste, effect, flavor, honestly, bag appeal. If it looks the way I expect good weed to look, that makes me happy. I'm like, oh, you study the
Light
trichomes.
colors,
Yeah,
not-
exactly.
not,
the bud density and
brownish.
structure. I like to look at, how they done it, how they cured it.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I'm not like one of those connoisseurs where I can differentiate. And people are always asking me, what's your favorite strain? And my answer is yes. I just like weed no matter what form, flavor. I've always just said yes to it. So yeah, I'd say I look for brands that care, brands that want to make a good product first and have, the money be a happy incidental benefit. So growing from a place of this is, their purpose in life versus corporate carpetbaggers who don't care. But that's hard. That's hard to find.
So
you're looking to the brands.
As Blake says that, it just kind of doubles down on what I say, because if I'm chasing taste, the two companies are going to have the same strain, but if they don't put the attention on it, they don't cure it long enough, they don't trim it right, they don't treat the plant right, it's not going to have the same taste.
Right.
So it boils back to taste, but it boils back to the person who takes
Every
care of the
plant grows different.
That's right.
Different yield, different time. I've learned
every strain. Yes.
everything
strain,
different.
Yes.
Some of them want to do.
question.
Some's good for rosin. Some's good for flour. Some's good for this.
So that's why you look for integrity, because if they got integrity and they're handling the product and they know about, cannabis,
Because there's
they're
a
gonna
right way
cure
to
it
do it.
right and dry it properly.
Exactly. And you can tell. It's like if you get,
We should
a
be trained by hand.
handmade meal from scratch, you taste the difference than, picking up a gas station sandwich.
There you go.
Right.
That's a good analogy.
So Blake, on those 100 licenses, how many do you think? I mean, obviously you don't know about them all. You're just getting them the license. How many do you think were getting in it just for the money and really didn't care about?
For my customers, not that many. There definitely were a few people who I'd start representing, and then I'd sort of figure out, oh, you don't even smoke weed? And I'm not anti people who don't smoke weed, but it's sort of weird for me, for someone to say, I'm going to put my foot in this lane and never have touched the product.
Kind of like me on this podcast.
You saying you didn't take them?
So I got a good one for you.
I got hired and then learned those kinds of things. But if someone comes to me or came to me in a potential client interview and was like, I'm in it for the money, I don't care about these addicts who do this crazy drug, I'd say I'm not the guy for you.
I'd probably say the same thing.
I did turn down clients. I was like, yeah, it's not. I'm not the right guy for you.
Yeah, you got integrity.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, because it'll take up more of your time and more aggravation. It's not even worth it. You can make the same doing something else that people that cooperate.
Yep.
Uplift the good people.
Yeah, I wanted people to get the chance to step in the arena, and it's obviously a bloodbath and it's hard, but
It takes years. The process
work
takes.
is always hard, right? So
Thinking about the process, right? From the inception of it, when somebody wants to start out the licensing process, what's number one?
you got to have a company.
Okay. Well, okay.
So to hold a license, you must have an entity of some type. So
LLC, S corp,
LLC,
whatever.
corporation, whatever you want to call it.
Step two.
Depends on what license you're
Hire
after,
a
but-
lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely
Hire Blake.
don't hire me.
Hire Blake.
I'm not hireable
No,
anymore.
he's
No
off
one
the
can
market.
Are
hire
you
me.
retired now?
He's off the
I
market.
am not lawyering on a day-to-day basis, so you
I'm
cannot hire me.
I'm sure if somebody out there sees this guy right here and they give him enough money, he'll do it.
I strongly disagree.
He's out the game.
Yep.
His
So
jersey's
I
in
did
the
my
rafters.
time. Honestly, when I started my law firm, I was already burnt out as a lawyer.
Already.
So I did it because it's what I knew how to do. When cannabis became legal, my first thought was, I'm going to open a store. And I start looking into it, and I thought, oh, I don't have anywhere near enough zeros in my bank account to just open a store.
Right.
And that was, based on the naive
There's a lot involved in
perspective.
the store opening, right?
It's the most expensive thing is the carrying cost of the real estate while you wait for the government wheels to turn.
Oh, to hold the real
you
estate while
pay
you're
rent.
waiting.
You pay rent while you're going through the process because you can't apply and be in the licensing queue without an address.
So
and
that's the next
landlords
thing.
don't let you use their address for free.
So you need a,
Well,
get a business.
see, I just learned that today.
You need
Wow.
to get a business, get an address.
That's why a lot of these people can't hold.
That's exactly right. You're being bled slowly, and you're at someone else's pacing that you can't control.
Do you think they could do this process quicker? Or
I think a bag of gerbils could do this faster. Yeah, it's needlessly complex. You'll get requests for information where they'll say, you didn't upload a document. And it's like, yeah, I did. It's right there.
yeah, you have it.
So I don't know how to let you know that other than uploading it. And then it says it's saved, right? It's there.
Yeah.
So they waste a lot of time identifying problems that aren't real. And, you know, the day your investigator had could determine whether you pass that inspection or not. So it's a lot of just
It's like that in life too.
It is.
You know? But
It is
unless, but it was a good way for you to network and meet people by starting up this law firm for the cannabis licenses, and I'm sure that's
absolutely no networking is crucial. I had a boss who used to say, if you're not networking, you're not working. He honestly said that like 90 times during the summer I worked for him.
Yeah.
But he's right. You meet people, you know, all my clients would say, oh, who would you recommend for security? And when I first started, I was like, I have no idea. Oh, who do you recommend as an electrician? I have less of an idea. But after working for so many years, you start hearing who people used, and then you hear horror stories, and then you hear like, wow, that guy was awesome, fair, good price, did it on time, all that jazz. And then I can say, I'll recommend you. So.
Yeah. That's like Cran knows a guy he used to work for. He said, if you procrastinate, you might as well masturbate. You're only fucking yourself.
So what's the fastest you've seen this process for somebody to get a license go through?
If you're going lightning speed and everything goes your way.
No, I'm saying your experience.
Maybe a year.
You've had a year?
Yeah.
And what's the longest one you've had?
Like 4.5 years. Yeah.
Oh, boy. And what town was that happened by not naming anything?
I can't. A few towns it's happened in.
Oh, in more than one town.
Yeah.
That's
was
crazy.
it because of the administration of the town, or just because they didn't want it there?
It's just one of those things in life, like where it's always something, right? There's always something that sets you back. You take one step forward, and then there's 2 steps back.
Yeah, because they can bounce it around to the other people in the department, right? And then it goes back.
So what I used to do is I'd introduce myself in an email, and I'd give them a little bit about my background. I'm like, look, I've been a municipal attorney. I'm not just coming at you like, you know, I know how easy your job is, because it's not. They have a lot on their plate. And I'm just like, help me follow your process, and I'll do it. So I just would say, put it in writing what you'd like me to do. So then give me a list of things, and I'd do that. And then they'd be like, why didn't you do, you know, numbers 8, 9, and 10 on the list? And I was like, because I went to 7. Like, they just make things up, and you're like, I can't meet this
as they go along.
Moving goalpost. Like, how am I supposed to comply? You keep giving things. Why didn't you talk to Barb down in blah, blah, blah department? Because when I asked you what to do, you didn't list her. That's why. I'm not trying to cut any corners. I'm not trying to, you know, get it around you. Just
you
tell
must
me
have some real flustered people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. Did you ever get thrown out of any towns?
I've never been thrown out of anywhere.
Or you had to leave the office for the day?
I've been threatened with the police a couple times. That was fun and interesting. Pro tip, there's a case called Barron versus Calenda, where if you're in a municipal meeting, you can be as uncivil as you'd like. The case in that situation, a woman called a select board member a Nazi, and he had her removed. So she sued, and it's like, nope, they can say whatever you want.
Oh, when you're in a
the
municipal
government.
meeting for a
Exactly.
municipal
There's no rule of decorum that says I can't say, you know, go up to a municipal official and say, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
They can't kick you out for that. And there's case law.
They
that
do
says
all
that.
the time, though.
Maybe escort you.
Not if you know the case
they're
law
gonna
and
get
you cite
sued.
that. Not if you cite the case law right there on.
That's
and then
right.
they'll be like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking
That's
about. You
right.
can sit back down, sir.
It's almost like being that guy at Tenement Square in front of the tank. You know what I mean? With some of these towns.
They don't make it easy. And it's always weird, right? All these people and all my clients were ever trying to do was open a business.
Right.
Why are you giving us we're trying to open a business. Why should it be this
You found a lot of these towns that in the towns they were negative against the weed. And
very much so.
Instead of work with you, they're against you. It's like,
so every little thing they would like.
Every little thing, they'd look at you like you had 7 heads when all you're trying to do is follow the rules. And, you know, neighbors would always ask, why would you go here? Well, why do you live here? You know, because it's convenient and it's nice. Like, what do you mean, why would we go here?
And then
it's zoned that way.
And then they tell you some paperwork they've been waiting on for like a month or two is something you just picked up across the hall, and it's been like in the file the whole time.
You got to keep poking to get any progress, and then they get mad if you poke them too often. So it's this delicate balance of being persistent but not annoying. Because if you get in that annoying column, they just give you bad customer service.
Albie, so you in charge in purchasing?
No, actually, GM Michael's in charge of purchasing. He's another
Okay.
co-owner as well. So he's a social equity member as well.
Mike,
So
I met him at the dispensary the other day.
That's right. Yep.
Shaved head.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so he's our procurement manager.
Okay. So yeah, I was talking to him. He's been in the game.
He
Yes,
has.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's making all those choices. Yeah, we think he's doing a great job. Our bud tenders have been enjoying the samples. I think that's one of the main perks of being a bud tender, right? You get a discount and you get samples. So
Yeah.
And obviously, it's better for them to speak from experience when someone says, "What's this like?" They can say, "Oh, it tasted great and the effects were awesome," versus a place pushing products just because they need to move it.
But not only Mike, like Albie, you know what good weed is too. You've been all over the country.
Well,
like
I think what's just
you guys
great
got
is
a
our
good
whole
team.
knows
like,
what's good.
You know what I
good
mean?
cannabis
Like
is. Yeah. So it's a bunch of connoisseurs. Just
Yeah.
So we'll have debates like this one's this one's So
Yeah.
we kind of know which ones to kind of go back and which ones maybe they're sitting on the shelf for a reason.
right. Move away from that.
I think that makes it not just a good team, but a good business structure, anyways, because the people who are actually selling the product know the product.
That's right.
Any brands that you guys have on the shelves really stand out that people are like, other than that Nipsey Hussle's brand?
No, the
anymore?
Fernway stands out. It's kind of people kind of come looking for that brand right there.
What's the name of it?
Fernway.
Fernway. Oh, here we go. The glasses are activated. The notes are going.
They're into like pre-rolls and vapes. That's kind of their thing. But yeah, they bring.
What do you think about remediation? Anything thoughts on that?
I think if you grow it right, you don't need to remediate.
That is true.
Quick, simple.
Although for
It's
me,
very simple. It really is. It's like
so when you cut corners, you think you're getting ahead, but you're going to pay for it, or the customer will down the road. So if your metric is profit, as a unit of effort, then I guess that's one way to measure it. But if it's not great, marketing will get people to try it. Quality will get people to come back.
right.
true.
They got the marketing people got the one trick pony, and you open it up and it's
Yeah, you'll get me to try anything once. If it's no good, I'm not
Right.
going back. So yeah, we're trying to have a menu of products that we would consume, so people do come back, because reputation is earned in drips, it's lost in buckets. So if we sell something that's crappy, why would someone come back?
Yeah, so I don't think you guys would want, with the caliber of people talking to Mike, like, he likes his weed. He's been all over the country too, I think, seen stuff from all parts, all eras,
I'll say this one factoid about Michael. We have one of his old legacy cash counters in our vault, which I think is the coolest thing ever, because that's how successful he was, right? He had enough need that he had 2 cash counters. So
2 cash counters?
Yep.
Was he double checking because he was making sure they were on point, running through 2 machines?
I don't know, but I always saw him in movies, and now we've got one, and it makes that sound.
You got to
and
run it once, run it twice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like being at the bank when they put the machines in. Is there anything that you guys would like to say, or anything you guys want to dive into?
When you were asking about the weed and the difference of cannabis, because you didn't smoke cannabis.
Oh yeah.
Early when I first got my economic empowerment license, I had a situation on the table, and it was a guy or a company with a lot of money, but the gentleman didn't smoke weed who was in charge. So we're sitting at the table and we're just trying to explain what weed is, and he just couldn't get it. And I said, "All right, the difference between Starbucks and dealership coffee?" And he's, a light went off in his head.
Yeah,
so you work at a car dealership, I know that you would get a kick out of that. So it was just a great way to say this is, when you go to a car dealership, you get the coffee. It's not, when you go to Starbucks and you get the
Not
coffee.
their business.
This is, and he said, now I see what good weed is. He couldn't understand because he's trying to get this guy who grew the tomatoes to run the facility. I was like, this guy doesn't even know what good weed is. How can he run the facility? He's a tomato grower.
Right.
So so we're having the conversation, and I just had to explain it. So I just thought I would.
Yeah.
We got good coffee though, for the record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe you.
Good coffee. We got beans, okay?
Yeah. You ain't
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I thought he was going to say I got a Keurig.
Now they got beans.
No Keurig with the beans.
Yeah, I taste I taste it in some of them Keurigs, them pots. You can taste the plastic in your coffee. Like if you're somebody who doesn't drink it with a lot of cream and not much sugar, like just try to drink it
My
black.
father-in-law,
You can taste
I
the
say I like
plastic.
half and half. He's like, yeah, half cream, half coffee.
Straight up.
I don't love coffee. It doesn't taste that great to me, but I like the caffeine.
Yeah, I like the espressos.
Now, here's another thing that I was thinking too. You said
Wow,
that
so you guys did good then.
on the location, you have to have the location that you're going to do business with before you can do the license, correct? So you have
for
to.
Coyote, yeah, what I've done is I've licensed the packaging, basically. So all it takes to sell a product in Massachusetts
Got a
is a
subcontractor.
license.
Yeah.
So the packaging it's put in, as long as it's child resistant, which it is, and as long as there aren't any graphics or words on it that are against the regulations, you can sell the product through that license. So you've of course heard of the brand Cookies, right? Cookies doesn't have a license. Cookies licenses its packages, its strains, and it says here, licensed producer in a state, you grow it for me. And slap your product of varying quality in this packaging,
about
and it's
Khalifa
good for you
Kush.
because people have heard about the brand. So I've had Cookies a couple times, and I've always been like, that's not impressive to me at all. But that's because they have different growers in every market they're in.
Right. That's
So
like
it's
the Khalifa.
super nimble, right? They can pick up and say, here's my IP, here's my social media following, here's my, receipts on the clothing and merch business I do. Like they're more of a clothing company than they are a weed company.
Right.
But everyone's heard of them.
I need an edible that keeps me cool at work. You got people coming at you all the time, employees. I need one just like.
You know what? We
That
should
sounds
give
like
you.
weed to me.
We should give you a
Yeah.
5 milligram out of this Coyote stuff. It actually tastes pretty good. Take it to work tomorrow. Just take a 5
I
milligram.
don't think that's a good idea.
Maybe have half of it.
Yeah.
Stay with the coffee.
Yeah.
Stay with the coffee.
You don't even smoke.
I'll be throwing people out.
Well, I didn't
Hey, the
say
stuff that
take.
I'm real good at keeping in will come out.
I'll tell you what, on this party on July 3rd, you bring him an edible, he might eat it.
Oh man, I'm coming off that wagon hot.
Well,
My
I didn't-
backflip.
So you never had any weed of any kind, any
Oh no,
swear?
I smoked when I was younger,
Oh, okay.
real young.
You know
He
what?
smoked, but
Take
he
that
didn't
edible when
inhale.
you get home.
The first time I smoked was a girl was like real hot. I can't remember who the fuck she
No.
was, but I just knew she fucking got me to smoke.
No, he smoked, but he didn't inhale. That's what happened.
Of course I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. But
So
no.
you know how they say you don't get high the first time? Well, I sure as shit did.
I got blasted.
The older kids handed me a blunt, and I was like, and did it like 4 or 5 more times. I got home, and my parents were like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I'm just tired."
yeah,
yeah,
go to
I
bed so
was
they don't see you all dropping the
Don't as shit
silverware.
the first time.
I tell you what, I got high on the intro video.
Oh yeah.
I needed a stunt double.
Yeah. Yeah, we
was bad.
fishbowled out the old T-bird, but we had a bunch of outdoors.
Yeah,
so I
it
rolled
was
in like
Me and
Quarter
Rob were
pounds
driving
and,
down the
like,
driveway to smoke.
aluminum foil
I got
so I could
boogers coming out
fishbowl
of my
the car
face.
out like really
eyes
thick.
watering.
He came out, eyes watering,
Boogers
coughing,
coming out. I was just
choking.
like, hey, somebody give me a stunt double. I can't do this.
Yeah, so he probably definitely got high that day.
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
No, we definitely wish you guys luck. You know what I'm saying? On
Thank
your
you.
location. It's 727.
727 Atlantic Avenue.
I can't wait to
And
stop
you guys
in there.
got internet website? Can they order? Okay, so the store, can they pre-order? They
That's
got
right.
walk up. And,
Firebrandcannabis.com for pre-orders.
and how long before the order they should?
You mean
Like how much
You're
time?
online.
Yeah,
So it's like 15 minutes.
15
At
minutes.
this point.
Like before they
that's what we
want
want
it.
to keep it at 15 minutes. If you can pre-order 15 minutes, because you're running your way back to the train, you can pre-order from work. You may maybe just leaving. Hey, let me
Yeah.
get some from Firebrand.
You got the digital
boom.
board for the train
exactly.
inside?
Hey,
Great
my
idea.
train is like 10 minutes away. I'm right in line. Walk in, grab your product. 25 steps to the door, jump on your train.
You have to
So
put it in
save
the
you
bag
time.
too, like have to staple it in the bag.
So it's up to the customer. The regulations don't actually require an exit bag, but we certainly offer them if people want them.
Oh, it doesn't?
It is not a regulatory
So
Why is
requirement.
why are
everybody-
they always stapling
Because
this?
someone made the mistake that they thought it was a requirement and no one bothered to look it up.
So stores.
Words, baby, words.
You don't need to spend money on bags
priceless.
anymore. Stop stapling the receipt on the outside so it looks like I got crack in my leg, and let everybody know I bought fucking weed. You know, like
Yeah, the nondescript bag as you leave a clear dispensary isn't fooling anyone.
Yeah, they
So
give you this big fucking bag for like a pack of pre rolls, and then you get like so you're walking out like this when you could just like
That's right.
see you guys later. Like, have a nice day.
So you can't actually, like in some of the places they pull it out and you can look at it. You can only look at it on a screen or in the books.
So you cannot hand like a raw product to someone. You couldn't actually touch it.
Yeah.
But there's sniff jars and that kind
Oh,
of thing.
good.
Do you guys have any of that at your guys'
Well,
joint?
we will have like quasi deli style. So we'll have samples of flour that we're packaging in store. We just don't have that quite yet. But yep.
Okay.
So we'll be the ability to smell it and look at it. Again,
that's
you just
cool.
can't touch it.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah, can't leave the bud tender's hand.
Because that's another problem, like as a consumer in this market, you can't see anything.
Yep. The child resistant packaging means you can't really look at it for the most part.
Like before, the old days, you go to buy a bag, you're like, okay, this is cool. Here's the money. This is like, here, take this shit. Like, give us your money. Take this shit.
For me, like that always happened when I bought weed, back in the day. But I never said no. I was like, you got weed? Great. Like, is it going to be good enough? I'm like, well, find out.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not that much of a difference because I didn't, have an unlimited menu to choose from back in the day. I was like, oh, that kid's older brother has weed. Great, let me get it.
Oh yeah, take
like,
whatever you can
I didn't
get.
grow up my own. I wasn't my own source, so I always had to just like, yeah, great. That's
No choice.
I think Albie had some sources. He had samples. He had access to.
I think we need to get more into this Albie story here.
I would say my first experience was I remember my cousin. He said, "Give me $100 and I'll give you 20 dime bags." Right? Okay.
Good math.
Yeah, okay.
I can get half this shit for free.
He has a guy from down the street dropping it off. Like, they were older. I was probably 14.
14.
And they were like, the guy, he was probably like at least 19, 20.
Yeah.
Right? So he brings it over. And I never forget this day because like this is my first like really experience, so we go and we count them and we're like kind of standing on the side and it's 19 bags. So he's trying to walk away, but we like, so I just remember running up on him like, yo, what you doing? This is only 19. And he's like, nah, you got to give me one. I said, nah, you better take that up with my cousin. I ain't got shit to do with that. Give me my shit. I paid for 20. You better give me my 20. You're not taking nothing from me. So it was like, I didn't realize what I did at that time, but everybody who saw me do that, it was like an effect of like, oh, like I really like, because there was some folks out there, they was like, oh shit.
Yeah, they seen you speak up for yourself and they gave you some
so then when
street
I told my
cred.
cousin later, he was like, yeah, he was trying to get one over on you. So I just learned at an early age, like, no one was never taking advantage.
When you make a deal, you got to make the deal. You can't try to screw somebody.
I just, at the early age, I just wasn't having it at all. And I was like, I didn't know that I had, you don't know, but I didn't even know what I had did, but I just understood that as I got older, like, wow.
You were just concerned with making sure you had your 20 bags instead of 19.
Exactly. That's all. I don't even think I really smoked weed at that point.
Okay.
I wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I wanted it and I wanted to smoke it. That was not the option. That wasn't what I was doing it for. So it had nothing to do with smoking the weed.
Right. Just to make some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I probably didn't really start like.
So that's when you're
weed to smoke until, man. Like I got to college, really. Even in high school, like I smoked weed, but I didn't really buy it. It was just someone had weed. I never went like to start buying weed.
So was that your first entrepreneurial experience, buying the 20 bags for $100 to resell?
I had already did the bus tour. I had already did the bus tour.
Don't you pay attention?
You already did the bus tour. I was just figuring out because he said he was 14 when he got his first bag.
Prior to that, my father owned a plant business. So I would go water plants as a kid.
Greenhouses?
No. So at first it was just plants, and I would go water plant. He had Workman's Bank. He had the contract with Workman's Bank. So all the plants in Workman's Bank, all their branches. He had plants in another, and like this accounting office.
You ever sneak in your own plants?
No. So we would go water plants, and then he ended up getting a florist. So I did that as a kid as well. So I learned early, about entrepreneurial shit. From my pops. So that's probably my first time actually really making money was selling plants on Mother's Day on the corner for my dad.
So my uncle had greenhouses, and we used to do it as kids. My dad would make a deal with a liquor store owner and line up, all the poinsettias and the mums for the season.
Exactly.
And my dad had his own. Then he had his own tool truck for a little bit and was working for himself off his own truck. So. You got it in your blood too,
exactly. So you understand.
I was mowing my neighbor's lawn when I was a kid for like $20, and then I came back. My dad's like, "Yeah, well, you owe me for wear and tear. You owe me for this, that." I walked out of like $20, like $10. Like I was like, "Shit, I gotta give you half of this shit."
That was my dad. One time I tried to show off how much money I made. He was like, "You should have. I gave you the lawnmower, the rake, and everything else. That's the least you could do."
Time you guys open.
We'll never know good attaboy.
9 to more every 7 days.
We're open 9 to 9 Monday through Saturday and 11 to 9 on Sunday.
Cool.
Store hours.
Store hours.
In this cannabis space, how late could you stay open till as a retail store? Like if you guys start picking up business and
So under the state rules, you're allowed to be open as long as the municipality allows you to be open. So right now our special permit or conditional use permit says those are the hours.
Okay.
We could go
That's
back
it.
and try to change them at a later date.
yeah. And you guys were happy with
But
that?
those were the hours, basically that we asked for to start.
Okay.
We may ask to open a little earlier, but we really think commuters are going to be sort of the lifeblood of our store, just because that's, the people who are using the building across the street. So we don't think we need to be open as late as a store in some other location might.
Right.
We want to be open when the people are around. So.
But did the eateries around there close early? Because I walked by, seen that sub shop was open. Then by the time I left, it was like closed.
Yeah, that sub shop is actually awesome, both in terms of good people and good food. But yeah, they're open like 4 hours a day, maybe.
I was like, they must
They are-
make
they are
a real good sandwich.
They make a great
I miss
sandwich.
Pita Kebab. Is that still around the corner from there?
I don't
Pita
know
Kebab.
that one.
That was pretty good.
Oh my God, the place is awesome.
Used to be in the parking garage, right? He had the
Jewelers
little
building. No, he
behind
moved around the
Jewelers
corner. He's on
building.
Chancey Street now, I think.
Pita kebab. So they got bomb sandwiches over there. I knew it. I'm like, this place was only it's already closed because me and Lee wanted to stop and get food.
Yeah. It's
And I was like, shit's already closed.
they're open like 3 hours a day. I know they close at 2.
So are there other places that stay open, or is it like all the stores are pretty much
It's-
closed around you by that time? Of
Yeah,
the
it's
night?
definitely not a late night hub.
Right.
It's a transit hub.
Business
so.
day.
Right.
Business.
Yeah.
Business closes, they
Professionals.
close.
It's professionals. It's people who live in the area. So yeah, it's not a super late night community.
So if anything, you might roll your hours back a little bit to open up a little bit earlier to get like the morning.
We'll see.
rush
We'll
off
see.
the
I
trains
don't
and
think
all
we'd ever
that.
give back hours that we said we were allowed to
way.
be
Well,
open, but
extend, try to get an hour or two
'cause
earlier.
I guess my logic is if a lot of our customers will be commuters, they're more likely to pick up weed on their way home than buy, an ounce and stick it in their
And then-
briefcase for the
okay.
day at work.
Okay.
Sync up the
Yeah.
place.
That's good mythology on that.
Just my thinking.
Right.
When does the last train run?
I don't know.
They run all day, all night.
10, 11, or 12,
Finished.
something
Yeah,
to
so
like
we're
to
going
like
by
to.
now, yeah.
People can be all pissed
Good
off,
for
get
you.
their 902.
But no, that's good. I wish you guys luck, man. You guys got a great location.
We appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming on
Yeah,
the show.
definitely.
Thanks for having
Nice
us.
to meet you, Albie. Blake, it's always
to
a
see you as
pleasure.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I seen you, Trev.
Ah,
Man, what was you smoking on?
I was straight buckled. I don't take edibles. That was at Nican, right?
Yes.
Yes, and then Amand, Amand was like, yeah, that's my buddy. I'll make sure he doesn't use any of the. Do you know Amand?
Yes,
Dunks
I did.
brand?
Yes.
Yeah, Amand Millhouse. So he's like, yeah, that's my buddy. I'll make
He's
sure he
from
doesn't,
Roxbury.
doesn't put anything out there put that out there because I seen some guys at the competition that two of my buddies entered, Silver City Genetics and Cranberry. And some guy came up to us and handed me an edible, and I probably ate edibles 5-10 times in
Was
my
that
life.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, this is strong.
Gave it to Cranberry, and Cranberry handed it off to me, and then I was like, it was very small, so I just ate the whole thing.
Big mistake.
And then I sit there like 30 seconds later after I eat it, he's like, yeah, that's between like 150 to like 200 milligrams, and I'm like, what the fuck? So that means if he's giving me that buffer, it can't be too accurate. It's from a home operation. This thing could have been 300, 350. But I was fine, so I didn't feel it it wasn't that bad. Then I seen Amand, and then we went across the street to the bar, and I had a scotch. I hadn't ate all day. And then when we walked back to Nican, I ran into you, dude, and I was like white. I wasn't even making sense. Did I even make any sense on that footage?
I'll share with you one day.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me anyway.
Yeah, I remember walking away from that, and I was like, Amand, I don't know what the fuck I just said, but I probably seemed fucking like a drug addict. Like I was all pale, like fucking like sweating.
Those things are strong.
He just
Yeah.
wants to know what he was saying. He has no idea.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
He just wants to know if he was there.
I had to get out of there. Lee and my girl Lauren met me out front, and they were like, "What the fuck? Like you're pale. Like what was that movie growing up? Powder. I look like Powder.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That's a great movie.
All right. I think that's a wrap, man.
All right, guys.
We good?
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Really? Hell yeah.
Take
Thank you.
Take a picture.
Yeah, would you take a picture? Perfect. Dude, thank you guys. for coming down. I
Absolutely.
think we touched on everything.
Yeah, I feel
Definitely.
good
Nah,
about
great
it.
conversation. Thank you. Nah, definitely.
I didn't come in with an agenda. So.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's kind of how we like it.
Wake up in the morning, got a bag on my schedule. Niggas talking, bitches talking, they is not on my level. Check the time, wrist, rolly, rose gold on the bezel. Grab my keys and get my cell and hit the door with a shovel. It's time to get it out the mud, 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 out the mud. It's time to get it.